Hey, good people. Welcome to Tales from the Shaker, a Davia Williams Stevenson podcast. You know how excited I get about my guests. I kind of chased her down a little bit. She was out of the country and then she was in New York. And I chased her down. And so I'm so thrilled to have this lady with me today, Asha Miller. Gosh, I'm going to read a little bit about her. And we're just going to get into it and see where our conversation goes, right?
So good to be here.
I am so thrilled that
so
you're here
good
with
to
your
be
beautiful
here.
self. I had to tell her earlier, I need to just look at her and get it out. She's stunning to me. And with my ADHD, I'd be thinking it and forget my questions. So I need to get those things out. I'm good now.
She got me blushing.
Yeah. Asha Miller is a storyteller. Yes, you are. A speaker, an advocate redefining what it means to rise after breast cancer. She's the founder of Asha Miller Creative and the creator of the Breast Event Ever, which I'm going to miss, daggone it, but I'll be there next time. It's a safe space designed to honor breast cancer patient advocates and offer them peace and restoration during the overwhelming month of October. It really is.
Yes.
Through her work, Asha bridges advocacy, wellness, and storytelling to help others find healing and identity after hardship. From walking the Victoria's Secret runway as the brand's first Black breastless model to lead a national campaign, workshops, she continues to turn her pain into purpose and her purpose into power. Come on now. Thank you for coming. And sitting down with me during the overwhelming month of breast cancer. But I really wanted to get you on this month because people are tuned, their ears are tuned. To it.
For sure.
I'm
Thank you for having me.
Team to make sure we can get this out in time. But
Thank
you are so welcome. Thank you for coming. We were chatting, as I always do, a little bit before the cameras start rolling, and you really are such a storyteller. Some of the words that you use to describe even this journey. You know, we often hear about breast cancer survivors. You use the word veteran. I love that. That's so empowering. That those are those who've been in the battle. Is that how you tell me about how you came to that term?
Yeah. So great question. And first, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure. And I've loved getting to know you more. And the term for me, when I think about breast cancer, for so long, I just couldn't sit with the word survivor because I kept thinking when somebody survives a fire, or they survive a car crash or even violence, like no one asks them to return back. I call it to the scene of the crime. You don't have to go back and say, you know what, for you to survive, for you to live the rest of your life and not die, we're going to need you to relive that trauma that you just had. We're going to need you to crash your car again or sit in a fire for a while. But we are asked to return back to our trauma time and time again, just to live. This is not even just to thrive. This is just to survive. And so when people ask you, because I know you've heard it before, oh, so hey girl, so you're good now. You had cancer, but you're good. And you sit there going, you're juggling all these balls going, if I answer that, no, then it's going to be awkward. But if I answer yes, it's not truthful because none of us are really good right after. So many of us are diagnosed with PTSD, myself included, and because of the returning over and over. So when I started thinking of that, I'm like, there's an honor to the word veteran. So when you say you're a veteran runner, people are like, oh, wow, so you've done this a lot. So there's probably a lot of toil in your body. You probably had to learn a lot of things, and it's not over. You're going to continue to do this because that's what you do. But when you hear survivor, so many times it's that finality, like that you're done. So
I just picture hanging on.
Yes.
Hanging on.
Yes. And I'm like, I'm thriving, but yet also there are repercussions and things that are still in my life that cancer just never really leaves. Something that I was told at the beginning of my diagnosis was, it's just 1 year. Just put your head down and just survive that year. And that was a lie. That was a lie. That was a lie because cancer is a lifelong diagnosis. And once you can wrap your mind around that, then you can find the joy and you can find the peace and you can find the goodness in the community. best members, worst club.
I love that. Yes. Nobody wants to be a member of your club.
Nobody.
But my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I think most of my folks know that I too am a breast cancer veteran.
Yes.
You know, it's 23 years for me. 22 years for me.
I'm going to clap for that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think so many times, like we when I was first introduced to breast cancer, I feel like I went and I did this race. And it was a lot of pink tutus, and it was a lot of slogans about save the tatas. And it was very gimmicky, to be honest with you. And so gimmicky that I raised thousands of dollars. This is 8 years before I was diagnosed. I didn't know anybody who had been impacted by breast cancer, but my grandmother had died of gynecological cancer. So I thought, I hate cancer. My friends' parents had passed away from cancer. So I'm going to do this. I spent 3 days with thousands of breast cancer veterans, and I learned nothing. I walked away and I didn't know anything other than, oh, they're surviving. So when they start clapping for 17 years, why are you clapping? You've been done. Like, aren't you moving on? I had no idea. And so that's why one of my missions now is, yes, I want to support the community within, but I also want to educate the community outside of that as well, and to say, no, it's not the easy pink tutus and races and save your tatas. Save the women.
Save the women. Save their self-image. Save their self-worth. I love that we were talking about someone in your community talks a lot about sexual wellness and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just that is a space I love to talk about, like
Yeah.
how you regain a sense of owning your body, of recognizing it as your body.
Yes.
It's foreign.
It is.
And if like you and you have bilateral mastectomies, like you're amputated in the first place where you begin to demonstrate your womanhood.
Ooh.
Right? So
Wow.
amputation is violent.
Yeah.
And yes, surgery can make us look good.
But it's
lots of compliments in a swimsuit top, right? But I know that my body looks like a roadmap.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is, so many times we're not told about that part when we're sitting in the doctor's office. And that's why for me, I will always advocate. I really, truly think that we should have a mental health professional standing right beside that oncologist when we are getting diagnosed, because I think that is more important in many ways than anything else. Yeah. You can survive maybe my body, but my mind needs to also be able to survive and thrive after this diagnosis. Yeah. And the connection to the body is so huge. And I never thought about it until you just said it like that. That was so powerful. It's the first place that we're demonstrating our womanhood, and then it's amputated. And I think that word is something I use more often now, because for so long it was like, oh, it's a mastectomy, reconstruction. And so people are like, well, then you still have it. But I explained it the other day to a friend like this. I said, it's like somebody's leg gets amputated and then they stick just a wooden stick onto it. And they go, okay, and you can go. And everybody's like, well, but you have a leg, it's fine. It's okay. At least you can stand. It's fine. And you're like, but that's not mine. It's not my leg. And I have to mourn that.
You gotta mourn it.
I have to grieve that.
It's layered.
Yeah.
And what we're told to focus on is let's just get through.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get on the drug for 5 years, and then you can walk in the race, and then you can wear the pink, and then you can have a number or you can put a name, and that's powerful.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away the power.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I did the race for the cure, one I did here in Columbus, and I didn't want to for a couple of years because I couldn't relate to the pink.
Yeah.
And one of my dear friends, who I would now call Breasty, I can't wait to call her and tell her that you're my Breasty, said, just do it one time. I always have your name on my back, do it one time. And there was something very powerful to coming to the end of that race, and they separate you, and people are clapping for you because you're alive. And that was empowering, and I did love that. But you're right. But you don't know me.
Yeah. And the thing about some of that is I was at a race recently and I had to give some feedback because I was like, I'm the advocate in the room.
Yeah.
But I sat there and they separated the survivors, and the other people, and we all came funneling through. And there was this news crew and they're there and they're like, how long have you been a survivor? And immediately I thought of all my friends that are not, that they're stage 4, they're thrivers, they're going to be living with this forever. Or what it, like my daughter's a pre-viver. She has a higher predisposition for getting cancer. She's never had cancer. All these different people in our community that do you consider yourself a survivor? What if your cancer just came back? What if, all of these things that could be so triggering as you're coming through that chute and somebody's there. So how long have you been a survivor? And you're like, well, my type of cancer, ER/PR positive, HER2 negative, I'm not considered cancer free for 20 years. Am I a survivor? Mm-hmm. What do I say to that? So I think it's in those moments that we have to stop and think, okay, is that really the
spy phone? Yeah.
I
don't know that we're going to be able to edit that out, y'all.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Leave a message, whoever's calling.
I was like, yes? Okay. Yeah. Yes. No. Leave a message.
Yeah.
Don't call back, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do think that it's in those moments, those questions can be a triggering response. And so I just had that feedback. Instead, say, hey, how many years since you've been diagnosed?
Simple.
It's
a subtle, honorable tweak. I love that.
And so it's just those times where sometimes I'm like, ooh, girl, just sit down, enjoy the party. But it's like, I'm always thinking about that person, because that was me at the beginning of my diagnosis, the quiet Black girl, because I didn't want to be that angry Black girl. I didn't want to be that girl who caused too much trouble. I wanted to be the perfect patient. And so I silenced myself sometimes into really scary situations in the beginning of my diagnosis. Stuff that, honestly, I don't think I've really shared as much, recently. I started talking about it with my friends. My best friend is an oncology nurse. And I started telling her, yeah, this happened or that happened. And she's like, that was not okay. But it was things that in the moment, I felt like if I stay silent, because I really don't know. I don't know. Is this okay? Is this not okay? There was no one to really help me to answer those questions, really. But that's one thing that's really important to me. How can we support those that are now being diagnosed, that are newly coming into this community? How can we walk with them and give them some of the answers and also empower them to use their voices, especially as Black women, because of our high mortality rate, 40% more that we're dying than our white counterparts, even though diagnosed at the same rate. 40%. And some are saying that it's 41 now. And that 1%, that's a huge jump. That's a huge, any way that it's rising is not okay.
Well, they're people.
Yes.
And lives.
And it's our families. I think about my daughter. When I found out that we had a higher, predisposition for getting.
Did you do the BRCA?
So I did the genetic testing, but it didn't come back as anything but a VUS, which that's something that many people within the people of color community, we end up getting, which means that it's a variant of unknown significance, meaning we don't know what you really have because we haven't tested enough people like you. Specifically within the Black community, it's very common because most of the studies and clinical trials and everything was first done, and still many of them are first done on white people. And so many times we end up with these VUS, type of genetic mutations, and they say, okay, call us back in 5 years and we'll let you know if anything has changed, like if we found out any new information. But I'm like, my daughter, in 5 years, she's going to be 16. No, unacceptable. And when you see the rate that prostate cancer and breast cancer are linked, you also start realizing, wait, my son? No, we need more. We need more research, clinical trials. We need more information, more education within our community. It's things that I had no idea about before I was diagnosed. And I think that education before the diagnosis, as you know, like when you know, then you're like, oh, let me do a self-breast exam. It makes a difference.
It does. It does. The terms you use, you are a storyteller and a wordsmith. I'd never heard previvor before you use that. I love that term.
Yeah.
I love the awareness that it allows your daughter and our daughters, and I'm thinking about my granddaughter, to bring to how she cares for her body and how she tests her body. And so you also mentioned clinical trials. Any recent stats on, are we participating in clinical trials? Are we being invited to them?
So I think right now, from what I have researched, we are being invited, but many of us, because of the lack of trust with the medical community, which is very warranted. I did an article, I wrote one for Everyday Health magazine. And when I was researching, because we were talking about earlier, like geek and nerd, but I geek out on statistics and research. When I started to research, because I'm a Trinidadian, so I didn't grow up here with my ancestors, like, telling me, my grandmother telling me stories, of what she experienced in America. All of the experiences that I know when it comes to medical racism and everything, I saw it. I saw it with my eyes firsthand, with my parents and with myself. But when I read about the history in this country, when it comes to medical racism, I would spend just hours researching and crying, just crying. Henrietta Lacks, of course, it was the Tuskegee, project, like
Just
those
the syphilis studies.
I get just goosebumps because it is so wrong. And now the repercussions, it's like this wave that has now come to us and our kids and the next generations. And we're saying, okay, now there's a lot of guidelines that are in place that protect us. We can be part of these. It is safe. That's why I sit on medical research teams, because I wanted to see, how is it? What are you guys doing? What is being discussed? And we can be part of it. But many of us still mistrust. When I was first diagnosed, they asked me to be part of one. I said, absolutely. I don't know what you're doing with my tissue. Where's it going? Where are you taking it? But now I feel like, there's actually one, and I can tell you about it later, but there's one that's happening with UCLA, and we're trying to get as many Black women participating, specifically around mental health. How can we help the mental health aspect, specifically with African-American women that were diagnosed with breast cancer? That's a simple trial, a simple thing to be a part of in some ways. It's every Saturday in November, but it's amazing how when we are part of that, now we are helping the next set of women that are coming in to hopefully get more resources, education, which is so important.
I wonder how broadly known is the link between prostate cancer and breast cancer.
Oh,
because I'm thinking that would really fuel some things.
Yes.
Given, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Given the propensity to study male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a huge link. I didn't realize those studies until I was asked to do an interview about prostate cancer. And that's why I'm always like, I love these opportunities, because it gives me more reasons to learn more. And now bring it back to the community to say, hey guys, if you have somebody in your family that had breast cancer and you are, consider yourself a male, you need to go check and make sure that at 40 that you're doing all the testing that you need to do. And it's a simple blood test that they have to do. Very simple. Check and make sure that your levels are where it needs to be, because you have a way higher predisposition for getting prostate cancer. And if you have breast cancer, does anybody have prostate cancer in your family? It goes so hand in hand.
Yeah. I don't know, because on either side of my family, we don't have a lot of longevity. I've already outlived my mother and my grandmother, and
Wow.
Yeah, my 60th birthday was a big deal to me. It's something to outlive your mom, and your grandmother. So I don't know, but I have 2 sons.
Yeah.
And it just hit me, literally sitting in this chair.
Yes.
That I will be, they got a little bit of time, but you're going to need to be paying attention. You
Yeah.
know what? No, there's prostate cancer on my dad's side of the family, all his first cousins, several of them in one family. Yeah.
Wow. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like telling my son, okay, you are a previvor when it comes to prostate cancer. My daughters, you're a previvor when it comes to breast and gynecological cancer. What does that look like? It doesn't look like, oh, we're so terrified. It means look how we now have the education to be empowered
Yep.
to know your body,
Yep.
to know what your options are. And yes, it's scary because I was a previvor. I didn't know. I had no idea. And yet I know from the different previvors in the community that it is also scary to continually do those checks, to continually go to those doctor's appointments, and to almost be holding your breath for something that might or might not come. Does she does she amputate her breasts because of this? Does she take away her ability to have children because it lowers her risk? She has to be making those decisions in her early 20s because it's 10 years before your mother, had her diagnosis. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to prepare her from since she was 3 to do her own self checks, to know her body, and to always feel empowered. This is an empowering thing to know your body. You're not looking for a bump every month. You're just saying, hey, this is my normal. This is what I normally feel like. And so if there is something that's a little off, because I found mine, then you can know about it.
Wow. That's I'm still sitting with some information that you just dropped in my world. So tell me about your event that's coming up.
Ooh,
I get so excited.
I'm so
I too am
sad.
excited
I'm so
for next year when I'm able to come.
I'm so sad that you can't make it, but you will be there next year, God willing. It'll be
willing.
amazing.
Yeah.
But this was born out of creating a space that I wish I would have. And so I'm sitting here. It's the middle of October. This is the third time that I'm sitting down with someone sharing my story just this week. And so there's so much that I realize when you're sharing your story authentically, it takes something,
It does.
And that was something I always promised myself is I'm only going to say yes this many times to these certain people because I wanted to make sure that it's worth it, if that makes sense. Like it's worth that feeling, bringing up that trauma. And I know that it's going to help somebody else out there. This month is overwhelming. And so I kept thinking, is there a place for us? Those of us that are always speaking and helping and advocating throughout the year, is there a place? And it can be in big ways or seemingly small ways, but all of it is impactful. It could be that you're the person that drops off meals every time you hear that somebody has been diagnosed. You're the person that will call and text the different people. You're the person that will encourage all the people that are advocating to rest or to take care of themselves. You're the one who's supporting, with podcasts, speaking on stages. It can be anything. But if you're advocating this month and you've already had that trauma yourself, I want to create that space for you. I want you to sit and just be. I don't want you to pick up anything, to think of anything. I just want you to be. And so I thought, what does that look like? It's a meal. Sitting around a table, sharing stories. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. Like I said, I'm a storyteller, but I'm also a story gatherer. And I love to gather the stories of other people. That's why earlier on I was like, ooh, I want to hear everything. I want to know all the stories because when I hear your story, it changes my life. It does. And you can hear some people's story and it changes it in huge ways and small ways, but each time it's a change. And so we sit around a table and we eat really good food. I wanted to make sure it's food that I would want to put in my body. So I treat them to a meal. And then we typically have like a photo shoot because many times a lot of these women have never been in front of a camera, have never felt that powerful feeling of other women hyping them up, going, "You are gorgeous. Yes, pose. And then seeing themselves in that way later on and being able to put that in a frame or to just look at it on their phone, share it with their friends. And so I wanted to have that moment of feeling empowered. And I'll be honest with you, like last year, one of the women, her hair was starting to grow back in, and she said, I don't want, I don't want to take a picture. And we all just gathered around her and we, hugged her, listened to her. She cried, we cried. But even in that, it was such a powerful moment because it didn't matter if she stood in front of that camera. She stood in front of us. Yeah. And that reflected back beauty.
She was witnessed.
Yes. Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps all over the place. Ooh.
Yeah, you've inspired my wordsmithery here. You like, I don't know, but no, she was witnessed.
Yeah. It was such a powerful moment, and I think that those are the moments that I treasure the most for this event. Is that there's no big shiny big thing, but it's sitting with each other, sharing stories around a table, talking over good food, enjoying all the taste, the taste, the touch, the sight, the hearing, everything. And then being able to do this photo shoot. We usually do some type of jewelry event, something. And this year, it's going to be so special. And I guess I get to say it because, it's going to happen tomorrow. So no one's going to see it until after.
This won't be out before. Yeah, go ahead.
But a company called Narrative Jewelry, they reached out to me and they wanted to give me a bracelet for Breast Cancer Action Month. And I was like, well, I'm always one that's like, I feel like we can do one better. For me, it's great, but what about my community? And so I said, this is the event I'm doing. And your jewelry is literally narrative. It's a storytelling brand. So what if we collaborate and we make a line just for these women for this event? So we did. And it is the most beautiful bracelet, and they have it covered with 14 karat gold, and it's gold and black, and it's in Morse code. So the women won't know at first what it says, but it's my word. It's legacy. And I want that. Right now, you are living your legacy. Yes. It's not what happens after you die. It's right in this moment. As you sit and you hear the stories and you gather the stories of others, you are changing lives. You're sharing these stories and it's changing other people's lives. And that's your legacy. So when they look down and I was going to wear it before and I said, Ash, you better wait. But
just another day.
I know, one more day, but they just arrived yesterday.
Oh, good.
And to me, that is one of the most special parts of tomorrow is to be able to gift them. And I'll have handwritten notes from myself to each of them about their legacies that I'll be giving them as well. And I canvassed all over Easton because that's where I am a lot. And so I said, hey, I come here and I give back to you all. So can you give back to my people? So there's been several stores that partnered with me this year where there's giving out like full makeovers for the women or giving out lovely skincare products. There's a breastie who's from New Jersey. She messaged me and said, what can I do? So she just sent a whole bunch of Summer Fridays lip balm. It's amazing. So I keep telling people, if you want to do anything, buy something for these women. And so I just want to love on them. So that's what tomorrow is going to be. Just showing so much love and appreciation. You can sit here and you don't have to do anything, but you're just being poured into. So hopefully you can continue to pour out from abundance and not scraping the barrel.
I love it. I love it. So how long has it been since you were diagnosed?
Well, I feel like I need to stroke my beard or something. I am goofy. But yes, I was diagnosed in 2017, so 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
But I always, whenever I share anything about my diagnosis, I share about the year before. In 2016, I was supposed to go in for routine surgery, and they were supposed to take a cyst off of my uterus, and it was supposed to be very simple. They go in laparoscopically through your belly button, they take the cyst out, and I'm good to go. I'm a veteran when it comes to surgeries too. You know, I had my first major surgery at 11 years old, severe scoliosis. I have 2 rods in my back, a spinal fusion, a huge scar on my hip from taking bone from there. So I'm like, yes.
You got a map too, huh?
Yes, yeah. I do. I got a whole road map. It's like one of those country roads. It ain't a city road. So yes, and so, 2 C-sections, you know, all of that. So I was like, yeah, I definitely, you know, this is going to be easy. And I woke up. Let me tell you, I felt so weird. Something was so off. But yet everybody kept looking at me going, you're alive, you're fine, everything is fine. You know, my family, my friends, the doctors, no one would tell me what's wrong, but I knew something was off. And finally, I found out that they took one of my ovaries during the surgery. Something went wrong, and they had to open me up from my C-section scar. And so I ended up being in the hospital for days more, and my hormones were crazy. Yep. But the weird part is that because there was this fear of possibly being sued or they didn't know, no one was telling me anything. So they weren't saying, this is normal. We're going to help you to regulate your hormones. This wasn't supposed to happen, but we're here to help you. I just didn't even know that this was even normal until I came into the breast cancer community 2 years later. I found that out. So I'm going through this, and now I'm depressed. I have major anxiety. I'm not leaving my home. I've gained 30 pounds. I can't let my children out of my sight. And now I'm thinking I'm just crazy. I'm taking medication for nerve pain that's making me see things that's not there. It was one of the most horrible moments for me. I became suicidal. And during that time, I cried out to God. I was like, what is happening? What is going on? And through that, I found a therapist. You know, that was one of the things for me. I said, I need help. Something is not right. Yeah. This is not me. I had my partner at the time drive me up to a mental institution. And I said, you have to help me. And they said, well, do you want to harm others or yourself? Well, not in this immediate moment. Well, we can't actually do anything then. I was devastated. I waited there in the waiting room for 4 hours to hear that. Yeah. And I kept thinking, do I have to be at that point? How do we stop? So we looked and everybody said, oh, go to your PCP. They'll give you the drugs. I'm like, I'm not going to go get brain surgery for a toothache, right? Or I'm not going to go to a dentist if my foot is falling off. Like, why would I go to a PCP? I'm going to go to a mental health professional. So to find that was so difficult. I finally found it through the help of a lot of people looking with me. And it was every single Thursday at 9:00. I had that appointment, standing appointment. The crazy thing, and this is the God thing, is that 1 year later, after I found that doctor, almost exactly a year, I was diagnosed on a Thursday morning at 8:00.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So everything was being set up for actually my success, but I didn't know it at the time. So I get this therapist. I had never stepped foot in a gym before. Never. People were like, that's crazy, because they see me as like the fitness girl. Yeah. Never stepped foot in a gym before. Okay. I found a gym, found a class, started going there, and fell in love, not just with the way that my body started to change, but more in the way my mind started to change. I became way just happier, the endorphins. I love it. I mean, I love it.
I tell you, it's when you talk about, get a new client and I talk about, sleep hygiene and what is your exercise, when was your last physical, they're like, when are we going to get to the mental stuff? Yeah. No, this is the framework. Yes. This is the framework for successful implementation of your mental health. So let's see what your body can give you. Yeah. Let's see what your body can give you first.
But not everybody thinks that way, No, it's I think that's so important to when you connect your mind-body connection. So I started in the gym so much so that the people at the gym said, "Would you be a fitness instructor?" And I said,
That's surprised. Sure.
No,
You didn't. But you do, don't you?
That I do now.
You do now. Okay.
And so I
Yeah.
said no. And then they said, "Well, we'll pay for it." And I was like, oh, okay. So I did. And my first class, I was so terrified, but wild thing. I became a fitness instructor. 2 months later, I find a bump under my arm. Mm-hmm. So I was at the best shape of my life. I was surrounded by community. And the wildest part is I began to know my body more. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't taking no or maybe for an answer anymore because of what happened the year before. And so I'm standing in the shower. This bump didn't hurt. It didn't grow. It wasn't weird. I wasn't losing weight. I wasn't sick. There was all those things that they show in the movies. I'm good. Mm-hmm. So I kept thinking,
but it's also under your arm.
Well, it
which
was
a lot of us
actually,
don't know that's also breast tissue.
It was, yes, and it was right at the side here. So it didn't feel like it was my breast. It was like the side maybe, maybe more into my armpit. And so, but it was so tiny, no one could barely feel it. No one. Mm-hmm. But I can just feel a little bit because I knew my body. Come on. And I kept telling people, I go to the doctor and I say, I love you all. You helped me save my life. You really did. At the end of the day, though, you may have a MD, a PhD, or whatever, but I have all those degrees on my body. And if you're not confident enough to say that, start being confident. Start knowing your body, because then you can walk into those spaces and ask, or even sometimes demand absolutely what you need. And I became a very small person during that time. I was married to my ex-husband. We were living in Amish country, Ohio. Let me say that one more time. Mm-hmm. Amish country, Ohio. That's neat. And
it's lovely there.
It was it's lovely to visit as a black person.
The rolling hills and the crafts. Yeah, I know.
Yes. So, but to live there.
Trying to get me to wrap up, and I'm ignoring it. But that's okay. That's okay. It's all good.
Yes.
We got more to say, but we won't be able to say all of it. But
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. No. So, yeah, I ended up then finding the bump myself. Okay. Being diagnosed with breast cancer, and September 28th, 2017.
You never forget those dates.
No. Never.
Yep.
Never forget it.
Yep. April 26th, 2003.
That's where I celebrate every year. I'm like, this is my cancerversary. This is where it started, but this is not where it ended.
It is not. Yes.
Not where it ended.
Not where it ended.
Yeah.
Gosh, Asha, I mean, I wish there's so many more questions. There's so much to your story. We're going to have to do a part 2 another time. Yes. If I can invite you to come back.
Yes.
I would love, just in a little bit of conversation we were having as we were doing the B-roll, and I said, stop talking.
I know.
I want to get this on camera. Stop talking. But my goodness, you are such a powerhouse. I love your love for the community. Your love for your kids. You're talking, they are your whys. They're your motivation. You exude. You exude journey. When you sit with you, there's a journey to this. It's still on the journey. Who knows where it's going? But this spot right here is powerful as all get out. And I love that for those who get to come in contact with you, who get to experience your hope and your joy and your empowerment, and to be witnessed like this lady was witnessed, and the women that will be able to be witnessed tomorrow with one another. This is beautiful and important. So important. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time today. I'm going to want to take some more. I'm going to get greedy with it, just so you know.
Oh,
but
please do.
But I don't even know how to end it. I am so thrilled for this conversation. I know there's some things you picked up. The power of language, previvor, breasty, veteran, right? Yes. Some important information to advocate for yourself, that you have the PhD on your body. There's just so many nuggets for you to take, regardless of what your story is, whether you're in a breast cancer or a prostate cancer story, or whether you're just doing life with these bodies that have issues, right? Yeah. I know in my knower, there was something in this conversation that you will identify with, that the people who get to see this will identify with.
Yeah.
And they will shake some things up in their own lives. I know it.
Ooh,
I know.
we are disruptors
Ah, I love it.
in the best sense.
The best sense, hopefully.
Yes. Thank you for having
Oh,
me.
gosh. Let me tell you about a little beverage here.
Yes.
We're keeping it light and healthy. It's the fall, y'all. So we did some apple cider, some fresh pressed apple cider and ginger beer for my Caribbean lady.
Ooh.
A little bit of ginger beer. I popped some mint in and a dried orange slice. I meant to squeeze a little lemon to brighten it, but it was very
Ooh,
good. I don't
it's
think
so
we needed
good.
anything.
No.
So cheers, my dear.
Cheers.
To you. And thank you all. I can't wait to get the feedback from this episode. I just know it. All right. Peace, good people.
Bye.